All right, today we have Luke with his locals winning deck profile. Do you want to run us what you played today, Luke?
Yeah, of course. So I played Veemon Armour Rush. Very solid. So it started off for the eggs. I just played 4 Upamon. You don't need the 5th egg. It rarely comes up because most of the time you just put Veemons on the field straight away. So yeah, you don't really need the 5th because you just like armor with the ones on field. And it's just for consistency, just to get extra draws. So that's the main reason behind the Upamon. For the Veemon lineup, I have the 4 jamming Veemon. This is like the main one you want to just have in raising, and then like promote it next turn. Just having the jamming option is just really nice, especially if you have an armor on top and you play the fire rocket option card to get security. So your armor, even if it armor purges, the Veemon will still check for the second security, and the fact that it has jamming, most of the time it will survive. So then on your following turn, you can just armor again and go off.
Jamming's busted.
Yeah, jamming's so nice. And then for the other Veemons, for the search ones, we play 4 of the BT8 Veemon. This is just for consistency. So on play, reveal 4, and you can add a dual color blue. So this one's really good because it can actually add you your dual color Tamer, which is kind of nice. And then for the other searcher, I play 4 of the structure deck Veemon. On play, reveal 3, add a free type. So all your Veemons and all your armors are free type. So most of the time you're at least grabbing like a Veemon for follow-up or an armor. And then I just play for the other Veemons just 2 of the EX Veemon. You can easily play this at 4 and max out on all the Veemons. But I cut 2 just to make space for like other stuff like Hammer Sparks, Memory Boost, more consistency cards. But you just max out on the 4 Veemons that actually like can dig for your armors and dig for your like jamming Veemons and stuff like that. So you just max out on searches, and these are just like extra names to evolve and raising and stuff.
Yeah, man.
And then for the armors, I play 4 Flame Dramon.
We play center old arts.
Yeah, you have to max out on this. This and Magnum are like both like versatile in different ways. But this card is just nice because you can it's like a free security for 8,000. And then even if it dies, you just armor purge and you can just go into like a magnet to have a blocker on your opponent's turn anyway. But I love this with like fire rocket, so you're hitting 2 for like 8. It's really nice. And then getting multiple of these is not bad either, because you can swing, gain 3,000, armor purge, summon another one, and then you can like tap your Tamer to summon the restand him, and then when you attack, you still gain the 3,000 from previous, so it goes up to like 11,000, which is really nice. So like having multiple of these is good because it just keeps stacking.
Yep.
Yeah, really good. And then for Magnum this card and like I said, Flame John are like probably like on the same level, but this card being able to like, the fact that it's a blocker and it gains like 2,000 for all your armors in the grave is just cracked. Like there's been so many times like I'll play this just like pass the turn and have a blocker, and it'll be on like close to 20,000, like 16, 18 or 20. So it can block like pretty much anything. And then when it digivolves, you can restand it as well, which is really nice. So you can like swing with like a Flame Dramon, armor purge, and then just like evolve this on top, and then you have like a blocker for your opponent's turn, and you're still checking for that security, which is nice. Or you can like end game, so that's like basically like a hybrid because it restands itself, which is really nice. And then the last armor, just the 4 Ragemon. I don't know why it's called Lightroom.
I was waiting to see what you called it.
Yeah, I don't like calling Lightroom. Ragemon is just the way to go. You just want to max out on all the Veemon armors, because that's like the whole purpose of the deck. So you can't just rush your opponent with armors. This one's not as good as the other 2, but it does come up when you digivolve to suspend a Digimon, so you can kind of hit over like small things and clear the board that way. Another main reason why this is like, I would say more important, it's really good with your dual Tamer, because it being a green and a blue, so you gain 2 memory off the Tamer instead of just the 1 off Flame and Magna. So that's why I probably like prefer this in terms of the colors. But most of the time it's just the body, you just like swing for like security. and stuff like that. So yeah, you just want to max them out. You just want to see your armors as much as possible.
It's also good if you got the 4 pre-release versions, right?
Yeah, it's also good when you have max rarity. It's nice. And then for, I guess, Spice, I just play the 2 Kumamon.
Yeah.
I think 2's fine. Like, if you wanted to play like 3 or 4, you could. But I wanted to make room for other stuff. And also, you don't want to clog. Like, the main purpose is you just want to look for your armors and dig for your armor cards. And then kind of use this as like a last minute thing to like go for game. Because you can easily go for game with just your armors and your armor options and stuff. But this is just a nice little tech card to have to... You know, if you can't go for armor and you play like 6 Tamers, and you can just go for game quite easily with this. And it's searchable off Davis, so you can dig into it like if you really need to, or just draw into it. But yeah, I think 2's fine. I think 4 we get too cloggy, because you'd rather just see armors instead. And then I play the 1 Cameraman.
The big boy.
Yeah, I should be playing this at 2, but I just haven't got the second copy yet. But it did come up today, which was kind of nice. But now we're just like swing with 2 armors and then go into this and like go for game. So it's kind of like with this deck, it's weird. So you have like 2 hybrids, but you also have like pseudo hybrids with this and Magna, where you can like digivolve into this or digivolve into Magna and still swing, which is nice. But yeah, I'll definitely play 2 moving forward because you want to see it, but like not too much. You just want it there to kind of go for game, I guess. And also with this as well, because you have a lot of colors in this, you have like blue, green, red,
yellow,
and yellow. So most of the time you can get the attack buff. I think it just needs 4 or 5. I can't remember. And then for Tamers, I play 3 Davis and 3 Davis and Ken. This Tamer, like, I know Davis is really good because of the memory and the searchability, but in this particular, like, just a pure build, this is like the more cracked Tamer, being able to just like gain 2 memory off a Ragemon, or go to like 4 memory if you have 1 of each. But the fact that you can suspend this to restand one of your armors or dual color Digimon is just insane. So if you have a Digimon with like Fire Rocket, you like you attack for like 2 security, and then say it dies, then you summon another one, suspend this, go into your armor, it unsuspends, and then that Fire Rocket will still remember that it's like on that Digimon, so you check for like another 2. So nice. It's just cracked. Like the Davis and Ken is easily like the better out of the 2, but they're both versatile in their own ways. For the armor options, I play 3 armor texture. I do want to cut a 3rd one for the 3rd Hammer Spark. I just think having 3 Hammer Sparks is just better at the moment. But this card you could easily keep at 3. I think 2 or 3 is fine. There's been times where I'll just armor texture a armor that doesn't die and then just go into a Magna just to like have the blocker for the next turn. But then like there's just so many times where you just use this to go for game because you just like attack. Sometimes armors just don't die, and then this is a good way to kind of get armors like go into a new one. Because you can do so much with just the one Veemon, which is nice. But yeah, I think 3 is fine. You can easily play 2 or 3 and you get away with it. Then I play 3 Fire Rocket. I really like this card. I don't think I ever play less than 3. 4 is probably too cloggy. But you just want to see this. So many times where you just want to hold this in your hand, because there's a certain like play you can do with Ragemon and the dual Tamer. So bring up Ragemon, you gain like 2 memory off the Tamer, and then you can like fire Rocket for 1, and you're like already swinging for 2. And then if you get into another armor, you're swinging for like another 2 because you'll restand that armor with the Tamer. So it's like really nice. But yeah, this card's correct, especially with multiple Flangemons like I mentioned before. Yeah, I don't know. The security effect never comes up though, which is kind of unfortunate about delete a blocker. It's never come up once, but eventually there'll be like a meta or like a deck that just like always has blockers, and then this will eventually be good. But for now, it just doesn't come up. Just the security. I wish it did more, like, you know, plus like DP or something, like that Atomic Inferno card for Red Hybrid. That'd be nice. But it's already kind of good because you don't need a red on field. As long as you have an armor, you can play the armor options, which is really nice. And then I play the one lightning blade. This should be the second Cameraman because I cut the first one for the first Cameraman, and then I just didn't have a second one, so I just kept this one in. Even playing it before, it didn't really come up. Like, it got hit in security a couple times, and I would suspend a Digimon. But the piercing and stuff, like, it's not the craziest. You rather just have the Cameraman for game, or like have a fire rocket instead of this most of the time. Like, you can play it 1 or 2, just depends on like personal preference, I think, when it comes to this card. And then for the other like non-armor options, I play 3 Crimson Blaze. This card is actually insane. Reducing like the cost and then like blowing up boards. And you can get it off quite easily because you just need to have a Flamedramon, and you can get it off quite easily. I do want to shout out Andre. He told me to play this card, so I tested it at different ratios, and I finally came with 3. But he told me to play it, and like I haven't stopped playing it since. Like the card's insane, and people just don't expect stuff like that, like in security as well. And it's really good with armor. You can play like multiple different colored options, which is good because you have like the dual colors, so you can play stuff like this. You can play yellow options if you really wanted to with the Magnum. I don't, but like that's like it's an option that's there if you want to do that. But yeah, I do recommend playing this in any deck, any red deck or any deck that has the ability to. The card's just insane. And then I played 2 blue memory boosts. This is just for consistency. The memory does help a fair bit, but most of the time you have like a Davis in Ken or like a Davis, you're already going to like 3 or 4. Most of the time you don't really need 6 memory to close out game. But you know, can't complain about extra memory. So yeah, it's just there for extra consistency, more than the memory. To round off the deck, I just play the 2 Ice Wall and the 2 Hammer Spark. It will be 3 eventually. I'll just cut the maybe cut one of the armor texture and put the 3rd Hammer Spark in.
Yeah, man.
When I get around to doing that. So yeah, that's the list.
Awesome. Any last minute changes besides those?
No, it's just the 3rd Hammer Spark and then add the Cameraman back in, and then for now I think I'll be pretty happy with the overall list. It's been performing well, like it's consistent and stuff like that. So no other big changes for now.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, Luke. And
okay.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.